Hi everyone, this is Lindsay Marquez, and today I am going over long quotations. This is a documentation mission, and in this video, we'll go over what a long quotation is, how to format it, introduce it, an example from my research paper, and then in the end, we'll sum it all up. Let's get started. So you may ask yourself, what is a long quotation? Well, any quotation that is longer than 4 lines of length is considered a long quotation. Long quotations should be formatted in a specific way. And I would like to note that long quotes should be used sparingly, only if you're trying to capture the style of your source or if you find the content of the entire passage very valuable. If you use too many, it may seem inexperienced or lazy because you're trying to fill your word count with long quotations, and it'll look very sloppy. Let's go over how to format a long quote. So to start, you'll need to indent 10 spaces, 2 tabs, or 1 inch for the entire quotation. You'll see a little bit later how that looks like. You'll still maintain double spacing, like the rest of your MLA formatted essay. You'll omit the quotation marks at the beginning and the end, and then you will place a parenthetical citation 2 spaces outside of the period of the last sentence. So after the period, at the very end of your quote, you'll have your citation, which will usually contain your author's last name and the page number if it's a book, and if it's an online source, it'll just have your author's last name. Now, you may be wondering how to introduce long quotations. So, when a block quotation is introduced by a word or phrase, things such as thus or the following, that word or phrase should be followed by a colon. When a verb of saying introduces a block quotation, a comma is used. If it is introduced by a complete statement, a period should be used. And then when the introductory phrase forms a grammatically complete unit with the block quotations that it follows, no punctuation should be used. So keep in mind, whatever you're using has different rules for punctuation and grammar, just like any other piece of writing. Next, we'll go on to an example from my essay. As you'll see, I have a signal phrase. In fact, Carl Weber in his book, Food Inc., that is my signal phrase. I have a video on signal phrases if you're not sure exactly what that means. Here we have the next sentence. And then, as you see, the long quotation, it's indented 10 spaces, and then at the end there's a parenthetical citation of which page numbers I got it from. Now notice I do not have the author's last name, and that's because it's mentioned at the top. At the bottom, there's more explanation as to how the quote ties into the initial argument, but that's unimportant to this video. So, to sum up long quotations. Long quotations are quotes that take up more than 4 lines. So if you're inserting a quote into your paper, if it is more than 4 lines, you need to pay special attention and make sure that it's formatted as a long quote. They are required to be formatted in a certain way, as I just said. So double check the length of your quote. You may want to change it into a paraphrase or a summary if it's too lengthy. There are certain rules to be introduced, and when I say certain rules, I'm talking about grammatical rules. And this type of quote should be used sparingly. I mentioned this earlier. If you're using 5 and 6 long quotes per essay, it's going to seem a little odd. You need to spend some time developing your own thoughts and ideas and using other forms of quotations rather than just the long quote.